The 2024 F1 season is getting closer and closer, and that means that it is time for my F1 2024 preview and predictions. In this video, I am going to be previewing the season and then giving out 5 predictions for what I think will happen this year. Let me know your predictions and thoughts in the comments below. Now, let's get into the video. The 2024 F1 season is shaping up to be the biggest season of all time, with a record number of races. In 2023 there was 23 scheduled Grand Prix, but only 22 actually took place. In 2024 there is set to be a record-breaking 24 Grand Prix, as the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix at Imola returns, and also the Chinese Grand Prix at Shanghai looks set to take place for the first time since 2019. Just to give an indication of how long it has been since the last Chinese Grand Prix, at the 2019 race, F1 was celebrating its 1000th Grand Prix, and current 3-time world champion Max Verstappen had never won a world championship. In fact, he had only won 5 races at that point. He was a long way away from the 54 race wins that he currently holds. To go alongside the 24 Grand Prix, F1 will once again be hosting 6 sprint races, but the format for sprint weekends is still somewhat unknown. But what we do know is that the 6 sprint venues will be the following: the Chinese Grand Prix, the Miami Grand Prix, the Austrian Grand Prix, the United States Grand Prix at Texas, the Brazilian Grand Prix at Interlagos, and the Qatar Grand Prix. 4 of those are returning sprint venues. The sprint format has worked well at the Red Bull Ring, Interlagos and Qatar, so it does make sense for them to be bringing it back to there. It will be interesting to see how sprint works at Miami and Shanghai. Going into 2024, the tyres will once again be provided by Pirelli. The original plan to drop tyre blankets has fallen through, and the teams will continue to use tyre blankets to heat the dry compound of tyres and the intermediates. With that in mind, there is overall very little change to the tyres, other than a required strengthening of the structure. The strengthening is required due to the increased levels of speed and downforce expected for the 2024 F1 cars. Speaking of the speed of the cars, it is expected that the cars will once again be faster than they were in 2023. There has been no real change to any of the technical regulations, meaning that we can expect to see the cars just get faster and faster. The reason for no change is because there is a belief that leaving the regulations alone will lead to the field closing the gap to each other. In 2023, behind Max Verstappen, the field was very tight, and the FIA is hoping to see everyone continue to close that gap. And if they have closed up, then there is a chance that we could be in for a classic season. In terms of the driver lineup, there will be no rookies on the grid, and also no one is changing teams, meaning that the lineup from the end of 2023 will be the exact same at the beginning of the 2024 season. This means that really there will be no excuses for any driver who does not perform this year, and this lack of change for 2024 could lead to a large shaking up of the order in terms of the drivers and teams for 2025. I just want to say that if you are enjoying the video, then I would really appreciate it if you hit the like button and subscribe for more F1 content. I'm on my way to 5k subs, and I would really appreciate it if you help me get there. Now though, let's get back to the video and let's talk about my 5 predictions for the 2024 F1 season. Number 1, there will be a new Grand Prix winner in 2024. In 2023, there was only 3 drivers who won a Grand Prix, and that was Carlos Sainz, Sergio Perez, and the all-dominant Max Verstappen. However, that being said, there was 4 race winners, as Oscar Piastri won the sprint race in Qatar, but that doesn't really count to Grand Prix wins, and that means that the last new Grand Prix winner was Carlos Sainz at the 2022 British Grand Prix. In 2024, I believe that there will be a new Grand Prix winner, with the field continuing to close up. At least right now, there is potentially 2 different drivers who could win a Grand Prix, and both of them drive for the Mclaren team. Oscar Piastri, of course, won the Qatar Sprint Race, and is coming off a very impressive rookie season. And with McLaren just getting stronger and stronger, Piastri is in a great position to potentially win his first Grand Prix. That is if he can improve his race stints. His qualifying pace is already there, but he does lack some pace when it comes to race stints at times. His teammate Lando Norris is another driver who is in perfect position to win his first Grand Prix. Lando came so close to winning the 2021 Russian Grand Prix at Sochi, and he probably should have won that race. Since then though, he's not really had too many opportunities to win any Grand Prix. But, as mentioned with Piastri, McLaren has continued to improve, and in 2024, there is no reason why they couldn't sneak a Grand Prix win if they perfect their setup on a certain weekend. What races are they going to be looking strong at? Well, I think one of the races where they could be looking very good is the British Grand Prix at Silverstone. I also think they could be good at certain circuits such as Imola. Number 2, AlphaTauri or Racing Bulls will fight Aston Martin for 5th in the Constructors. In 2023, the AlphaTauri team had a very difficult start to the year, where they were pretty clearly the slowest car out on track, especially with Nick de Vries, who was clearly struggling as a driver as well. However, by the end of the season, it was not too unreasonable to expect to see one AlphaTauri in Q3, with their best result coming at the Mexico City Grand Prix with a P7 finish, and Yuki Tsunoda managing to lead a few laps of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. And in 2024, it has already been announced that the relationship between Red Bull and the Racing Bulls team is going to be coming closer together, with Racing Bulls having more parts from Red Bull on their car. Some teams are questioning this relationship, however, what they are taking is perfectly legal. Because of course some parts it is perfectly legal for teams to share. Haas, for example, borrow a lot of parts from Ferrari. It will be interesting to see just how much the Racing Bulls look like the Red Bull in 2024. With this in mind, with the increase in shared parts, I believe they will be at very least able to fight for 5th place in the Constructors' Championship, and I can see them potentially beating Aston Martin's 5th place, especially if Aston Martin are going to be spending most of the season driving with one arm tied behind their back, because let's be honest, there's only so much Fernando Alonso can do. Number 3, there will be a mid-season driver change in 2024. With no one moving teams at all for this season, all of the drivers who were underperforming are under increased pressure to actually perform. There is no excuse of getting used to a new car, since everyone in the field is now in the same boat. With this in mind, I believe that there will be a mid-season switch between some drivers. The driver I think that is most likely to lose their seat mid-season is, sadly for him, Sergio Perez in the Red Bull. In 2023, he was lucky in a way that the Red Bull was such a dominant car. If it was not, then there's no way he was finishing in 2nd place in the Drivers' Championship. If the field is closer in 2024, then there is a chance that we could see Perez struggle for podiums, and he could cost Red Bull some valuable points. If this is the case, then I can see him being replaced by Daniel Ricciardo or Yuki Tsunoda, and the other Racing Bull seats will be taken by the returning Liam Lawson, in my opinion. That is, of course, if Perez does underperform. Number 4, Lewis Hamilton will win his first Grand Prix since 2021. For Lewis Hamilton, he went every single season from 2007 until 2021 winning a race. However, in 2022 and 2023, he has gone without winning a single Grand Prix. The Mercedes has had potential to win races at points in these 2 years, and they did win in Brazil, but this was by George Russell in 2022. But in 2024, I believe we will once again see Lewis Hamilton finish a race on the top step of the podium. Mercedes do have quite a lot of work to do, but they had flashes of potential in 2023. However, they just lacked top speed and a bit of overall pace, even though they did get pole position at Budapest. Their car was kind of tyres, which is going to pay dividends in 2024 as the cars are getting faster and faster, which could lead to more tyre wear. That is, of course, if the tyres don't really change. With this in mind, I can see Hamilton finding a way back to the top step of the podium, and I think if he does, it will likely either be at Budapest or the Circuit of the Americas. 2 places where Hamilton has historically been very strong, and 2 circuits where tyres take a beating. And number 5, Max Verstappen will win the Drivers' Championship. Well, I have to make sure I get at least one prediction right, so I am gonna say Max Verstappen will once again win the Drivers' Championship. But I don't believe it will be anywhere near as easy as it was in 2023, and to some extent 2022. I expect a much harder fight from Ferrari and McLaren, with Mercedes occasionally getting involved as well. But at the end of the season, once again, Max Verstappen will win the Drivers' Championship, and let's be honest, he will probably win at least 10 races this year. So those are 5 of my predictions. The question is though, what do you guys think will happen in this season? In the comment section down below, give me some of your predictions. And as always, comment, leave a like, and subscribe for more F1 content. Thank you all so much for watching.